You know that feeling when you're scrolling online and everything kind of starts to look the same? The same style of art, the same way of phrasing things? Well, that might not just be in your head. There's this really weird paradox at the heart of the AI boom, a feedback loop that could literally be causing AI to eat itself. Okay, let's get into it. This quote right here, it pretty much sums up the entire problem we're talking about today. A growing number of researchers are warning that generative AI is becoming a photocopy of a photocopy. Every time a new model is trained on the stuff the last one made, the quality, the originality, it all just starts to fade. So, what's the end game here? One researcher put it perfectly, warning that the internet might just get filled with blah. Imagine an endless ocean of AI content that all looks and sounds pretty much identical. And this isn't just about things getting boring. This is a huge deal. It's a real threat to the future of AI and to what we consider valuable information. All right, let's break this down. We're going to explore what's being called the Great AI Paradox. You can think of it like a story in two parts, a cycle of creation and, well, destruction that's happening incredibly fast. Okay, so here's the paradox in a nutshell. Phase 1. AI comes along and makes things like writing and art super cheap and easy to create. This pushes down the value of human work. But the AI companies themselves, their valuations go through the roof. But then comes Phase 2, the twist. The internet gets flooded with all this AI-made content, and new AI models start training on that synthetic data. The result is a massive, self-inflicted nosedive in quality and value. So let's start with Phase 1, inflating value. This is the big boom, the hype cycle, where it feels like generative AI is just creating value out of thin air. And when we say boom, we really mean it. Just look at this number, over $1 trillion. That's the total valuation of private AI unicorns. $1 trillion. That is a staggering, almost unbelievable amount of money betting that AI is going to change everything. But here's the other side of that trillion-dollar coin. While AI companies are attracting all this investment, the value of human work is already starting to slide. A recent study of freelancers in fields getting heavy AI exposure found that contracts dropped by 2% and earnings went down by 5%. The value isn't just disappearing, it's shifting. This whole situation has led people in the industry to say we're in an era of creative commoditization. It's a fancy term for a simple and kind of scary idea. Skills that used to be highly specialized, graphic design, copywriting, you name it, are becoming cheap commodities that you can get instantly from an AI. So to actually stand out from the crowd, the bar just got raised, big time. And now for the turn. This is where the story gets really interesting. Let's talk about Phase 2, where the AI engine starts to turn on itself. This is how it happens. It's called the homogenization loop. First, AI generates a massive amount of content. Next, that synthetic stuff floods the internet. And then, this is the really crucial part, new AI models are trained on that same AI-generated data. It's like they're only reading their own diary. The result? The models start to forget what real human creativity sounds and looks like. They lose nuance, which leads to what researchers call model collapse. And the reason this happens gets right to the core of how these models work. Large language models, or LLMs, are not creative thinkers. They are statistical averagers. Their whole job is to predict the most probable, most average response. They are literally designed to produce consensus, which is the exact opposite of what human originality is all about. We thrive on the weird, the unexpected. And hey, this isn't just some far-off theory. We are already seeing hard evidence of this engine of sameness firing on all cylinders. Check this out. A Microsoft study gives us a perfect example. Researchers asked GPT-4 for a bunch of different endings to a story. What did they get back? Pretty much the same plot over and over, just rephrased a little differently. It kept recycling the same ideas. When they compared that to endings written by humans, the difference was stark. The human stories were way more varied and original. This paradox is causing huge problems in the business world, too. A study from MIT found that a shocking 95% of commercial AI projects failed to deliver any real revenue growth. 95%. A key reason is what they call the verification tax. Basically, humans have to spend so much time and money fixing the confident-sounding mistakes that AI makes that it completely cancels out any efficiency gains. Now look, big technological disruptions are nothing new. I mean, the printing press devalued handwritten books, but it led to an explosion of knowledge.
The dot-com bubble burst, but it left us with this incredible interconnected society. Each time something was devalued, but something new and often more valuable was created. The crucial difference with AI, the long-term outcome is still just a giant question mark.
Okay, so this all sounds a little grim, right? How do we get out of this future of AI-driven sameness? Well, the good news is researchers are already working on ways to break this self-destructive loop. You know, the biggest solution might not even be a technical one. It might just be a shift in how we think about AI. Instead of this replacement mindset that's all about cutting costs, we could adopt an augmentation mindset. This sees AI not as a substitute for people, but as a powerful tool to amplify our most unique human skills, the very things AI can't replicate. So, what are some concrete ways to do that? Well, experts suggest creating a prestige corpus, basically a protected library of purely human-generated data for training future AIs. We could also develop smaller, specialized AIs using high-quality private data, instead of just scraping the entire messy internet. And critically, we need to build systems to label what's AI-generated and what's not. The whole goal is to shift our focus from just pure efficiency to valuing what's truly unique and authentic. And really, this brings us to the final and most important question. If this trend keeps going, the most valuable things in the world won't be what AI can churn out endlessly. It'll be what it can't do, the things that only humans can create: genuine originality, emotional depth, true lived experience. The real challenge for all of us is to figure out how we build a future that protects and values that irreplaceable human spark.